Welcome to Wolf Blitzer's Crime Report. I'm Wolf Blitzer. Tonight on the report, we take an in-depth look into the cause of crime. Just a hint, we don't know. But first, we look into the eyes of a madman who brutally murdered an old man because of his cataracts. It wasn't his gobs of money, if he had any, nor a rage. It was his cataracts. But first, we interviewed a police officer who heroically captured the murderer after recognizing the plot. But first, our exclusive interview with the old man who was brutally murdered. But first, the maniac's murder of the old man is a tremendously terrible tale indeed, and we'll overview this in Entering the Madness. 1843. This madman, a butler of the old man's estate, plotted, planned, and proceeded to murder. The fashion of this rampage was terrifying, best described by the crazy criminal himself.
You fancy me mad? Madmen knew nothing, but you should have seen me. You should have seen how wisely I proceeded, with what caution, with what foresight, with what dissimulation I went to work. I was never kinder to the old man than during the whole week before I killed him, and every night, about midnight, I turned the latch of his door and opened it, oh so gently. And then when I had made an opening sufficient for my head, I put in a dark lantern, all closed, that no light shone out, and then I thrust in my head. Well, you would have laughed to see how cunningly I thrust it in. I moved it slowly, very slowly, so that I might not disturb the old man's sleep. It took me an hour to place my whole head within the opening, so far that I could see him as he lay upon his bed. Ha! Would a madman have been so wise as this?
Wise indeed. For this crony, crazed with power of the pillow, plunged the soft surface of the pillow, suffocating the old man in his sleep 7 days later. The police were stunned by what occurred next.
He cut him up, real gross, shoved him into the walls, floorboards. The heart was sitting right under him as he was chatting with us. He's a real creeper. Took a couple of days to really scrub up after him. My wife thinks I'm messy.
Ba-dum-bum-bum. Tell me about when you first found the frenzied fool.
Well, we went in after hearing from the neighbor. Didn't really know what was going on with this guy. Said the old man was out of town, at his sister's. But then he just freaked out.
Villains, dissemble no more. I admit the deed, tear up the planks. Here, here, is the beating of his hideous heart.
Yeah, that's basically what he said.
What was he like?
Fidgety. Real fidgety. Like he had something to hide.
So you had a general idea that something was going on.
Oh no, not a clue. It was my first day.
It was. It all occurred here, on this very street, in this very house, in this very room, on this very floor, and under this very floor. So what, if anything, motivated the bloody butler to commit the crimes he did?
Probably just for the gold.
Why would you say that?
No reason, really. Just seems like kind of a jerk.
Explain yourself further, please.
Well, he just kind of snuck around a lot. Like, you'd be mowing your lawn, and all of a sudden you notice an eye poking through a hole in the fence staring at you. Just staring. Even when he saw that you saw, he just kept staring. It's like he thought nobody knew, but everybody knew. Probably a peeping Tom in his youth, but he wasn't as sneaky as he thought he was.
The question remains, why? The murderer himself described why he did the deed.
I think it was his eye. Yes, it was this. He had the eye of a vulture, a pale blue eye with a film over it. Whenever it fell upon me, my blood ran cold, and so by degrees, very gradually, I made up my mind to take the life of the old man, and thus rid myself of that eye forever.
Of the old man's eye. Ooh, quite creepy indeed. But why? Why did he do it? Oh yeah, the eye. But why? Why confess the deed?
There was a low, dull, quick sound, much such a sound as a watch makes when enveloped in cotton. I arose and argued about trifles in a high key and with violent gesticulations, but the noise steadily increased. Why would they not be gone? It grew louder, 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 and still the men chatted pleasantly and smiled. Was it possible they heard not? Almighty God, no, no, they heard, they suspected, they knew.
There we have it. The bloody butler broods over an old man's evil eye, eliciting the deep desire to destroy the very man who housed and fed him. Turns out he was a madman after all. So now, here in this studio, we have the bloody butler himself. Welcome, kind sir.
Hey, great to be here, Wolf. What can I do you for?
Well, it seems to everyone here that you're mad, and we'd like to know why exactly you would do such a thing.
Yeah, kinda went off the deep end there, but really, the creepiness factor of that old guy's eye should not be underestimated.
Yeah, I'm not questioning that. Creepy indeed. But seriously, did you have to chop him in pieces? And were you really hearing things?
Just seemed like a good idea at the time. I mean, I sure showed you guys that I wasn't crazy by taking all those precautions and discarding the body parts. As for the hearing noise things, there was a beating. It grew louder. Is the beating of his hideous heart.
We'll end on that note. So there we have it. Since we've concluded filming, the butler has been sentenced to death by the Texas Supreme Court. On a more positive note, the old man's family has created a charity aimed at finding a cure for cataracts. After the break, why is there crime? Doubtful will tell you.